The Sermon on the Mount is one of the most important collections of Jesus' teachings. It consists of 3 parts: an introduction, a main body, and a conclusion. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Open Book Biblical Tales and Prayers Open Book. We need your support. Click the notification bell right now so you won't miss any of our videos. And please, leave a comment, share your thoughts, and help us spread these messages. Your engagement makes all the difference. Now, the main body is the central part of the sermon. In it, Jesus calls his followers to live by a higher standard of righteous relationships with God and with others. And this main body also has 3 parts, each looking at righteousness from 3 different perspectives. This central section is all about how righteousness should be expressed in the religious practices of Jesus' time. And this section also has 3 distinct parts. In the middle, Jesus addresses 3 key religious practices. And the central practice he highlights is prayer. It is here where Jesus teaches his disciples the Lord's Prayer. That's right. The Lord's Prayer sits at the very center of the entire Sermon on the Mount. It holds this pivotal position because Jesus wants this prayer to occupy a central place in the lives of his followers. The prayer begins, "Our Father who is in the heavens." Notice, the prayer doesn't start with, "My Father." Jesus wants us to remember that we belong to a worldwide family, appealing to God together as our Father. Father is a deeply intimate way to refer to God. Yes, this was Jesus' favorite term for God, portraying him as the source of life and the provider for his children. And notice how Jesus balances this intimate term with a more cosmic description, in the heavens. So, did Jesus think God lives in the sky? It's a metaphor. Just as the heavens are high above us, God is above and beyond every category we can imagine. Yet, he is also close, like a loving father. After addressing God, the prayer moves into 3 requests. The first one is, "May your name be recognized as holy." What's the significance of God's name being holy? Well, in the Bible, holiness is the unique, one-of-a-kind status that God has as the creator of all things. In the biblical story, God attaches his holy name and reputation to the people of ancient Israel by partnering with them to bring blessings to the nations. However, Israel broke this partnership, which led them to be conquered by other nations. That's right. And in doing so, God's holy reputation was discredited among the nations. But Israel's prophets foretold that one day, God would act to restore the holiness of his reputation. Jesus invites his followers to pray for this restoration to take place. Well, that's what the next part of the prayer addresses. May your kingdom come, may your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. God's heavenly kingdom is a holy realm where his will is always done. So, Jesus teaches us to pray for this kingdom to come down to earth, for his heavenly will to be accomplished here on the land. Exactly. And the word will could also be translated as desire. This prayer is meant to align our desires with God's desire to bring heaven to earth. Notice the repetition, your name, your kingdom, your will. This first half of the Lord's Prayer contains 3 requests asking God to act in our world to renew creation. The second half of the prayer shifts its focus, asking God for help so that we can participate in this renewal. Give us this day our daily bread. Most humans are filled with anxiety and fear about survival, and we tend to hoard resources. But Jesus invites us to trust in God to meet our needs one day at a time. This kind of prayer cultivates a daily habit of gratitude, allowing us to see every meal and every moment as a gift. Why focus on bread? Jesus is recalling the story of Israel wandering in the wilderness when God provided bread from heaven, but only enough for one day at a time. This required Israel to maintain a posture of gratitude and trust. And forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. So, what are our debts? Debt here is a metaphor for when we wrong someone, creating an obligation to make things right. It's a relational debt. Notice the symmetry here. The prayer asks God to forgive our debts in the same way we forgive those who are indebted to us. Our ability to receive God's forgiveness is directly linked to our willingness to forgive others. Jesus is creating a culture where the forgiven become agents of forgiveness for others. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. I learned this prayer as, lead us not into temptation. The Greek word used here is peirasmos, which refers to a test designed to reveal the truth. In the Bible, God's tests serve a positive purpose, to reveal one's character and invite them into a trusting relationship with Him. So, why ask God to spare us from tests? Jesus is being very honest here. Tests can be difficult and painful, and there is often a tempting voice urging us to take the easier path because the right choice feels too costly. Jesus says this is the voice of the evil one. When tests arise and we hear that voice, we are to pray for deliverance. Exactly. Now, notice that the second half of the prayer contains 4 requests that focus on our needs. Give us bread, forgive our debts, lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Combine these with the 3 requests from the first half, and you get 7 requests. 7 is a common biblical number representing completeness. Indeed, Jesus' prayer shapes us into people who long for God's heavenly kingdom and desire to see it come about here on earth. We participate by learning to trust God, forgive others, and remain faithful to His promise to bring heaven down to earth. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel Open Book Biblical Tales and Prayers Open Book. We need your support more than ever. Click the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of our videos. Please, share your thoughts in the comments, join us in this spiritual journey, and help us spread these sacred messages. Your involvement means everything.